You are listening to The Objective Jerk, and I am said jerk. What's up? How's everybody doing? I'm here. I'm going to talk about the Warner Brothers and Netflix and everything. Like, oh my god, movie theaters are over. Ah. Now, if you want details and numbers and all that kind of stuff, this ain't the channel. If you just want an opinion that doesn't matter, you're in the right place. What's up? Yeah, I just kind of, well, for me, I woke up this morning and, yeah, there's like, YouTube, some people I follow, some people I don't. You got some people like, woohoo, yay, and some people are like, oh my god, the world is ending, and, I don't know, I think, because I'm not, I don't go to the theaters. I don't care for the theaters anymore. So to me, it's not really a big deal, I have Netflix just because I've always had Netflix. I used to get the DVDs in the mail. And as soon as they started streaming some of their films, I signed up for that. And I've been doing it ever since. And so that's like 2010, I want to say. And I don't always agree or like what Netflix puts out, but I've always had it, and there's a couple times I wanted to get rid of it due to some content, and I was like, man, I don't want to support this crap. But my wife, her Korean dramas and all that stuff, we got it. We're stuck with it. I'm stuck with it. Just like I'm stuck with the stupid Apple computer with its one ear working. I think it's the input jack, from me plugging and unplugging my headphones and stuff every time. Instead of, I need to get like speakers, and so I can just disconnect speakers with the headphones. But it's too late now. This Mac is it's kind of old now anyway. I don't know if I want to get another one though, man. But it's like it's hard to switch. It's hard to switch sides, But anyway, so a lot of people, some people are, were wanting Netflix to buy Warner Brothers, because they were thinking, the Snyderverse and basically I think that's kind of it. I think it's the Snyder people, which I consider myself a Snyder person. I guess, I don't know. I'm a Snyder bro, I guess. I like his stuff. I don't like everything. I don't love it emphatically, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but I like most of his stuff. So I guess, yeah, if you had to if I had to pick a lane, I'd be a Snyder bro. But I mean, I'm definitely not James Gunn. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy films, although I didn't see the third one. But from what I can tell, I haven't watched anything that he's put out, that Gunn has done for WB, Warner Brothers. I haven't seen any of it. But from what I can tell, it looks like crap, and I wouldn't want to watch it anyway. So, I'm happy to see him go. Maybe keep him on as like a writer, but not somebody that makes the decisions of having orgies. Let's see. And then you got people who are upset because they're thinking like movie theaters are going to be done because Warner Brothers is such a huge movie studio. They got so many IPs and whatever, and everything that they release from here on out is not going to be in the theaters, or you're going to be able to buy a physical copy. So that part I do worry about a little bit, the physical copy aspect. Because I like having physical copies. I don't like paying subscriptions and watching stuff. Like I got rid of all my music, my CDs and stuff when I don't even use Amazon anymore, but when Amazon Music came out and I was like, dude, it's got everything. I don't need to. And I just kind of got tired of lugging boxes of CDs and stuff around every time I moved. And you know, it's just, it was so, but I kind of regret that, sort of. I remember when I had that garage sale, man, that's what got bought up was the CDs. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. But I guess they saw the writing on the wall. I don't know. Oh, man, I got to turn the fan off because I got the thing. I forgot. Hold on. The noise gate sounds better with, because it's trying to get rid of the background noises. And then every time I'm talking, you can kind of hear it. And then, I don't know, it's just kind of annoying. At least I hear it. I don't know. In my one ear. But, so yeah, so I kind of regret that. I have some vinyl. I have a few CDs. But I'm still, I don't know. I do want to get, I do buy vinyl occasionally, and I buy movies, but anyway, so physical media, people are afraid that like this just not going to exist anymore. Warner Brothers, Netflix, whatever, is not going to release, physical, because Netflix does all kinds of stuff, and none of it, you can buy the physical media because they want you to stream on Netflix, which makes sense. So anyway, so my thought on it is I don't care. I mean, movie theaters they're done already. So it's just movie theaters are over, I think, as they are now. I think the so the supposedly, Warner Brothers, when they were in discussions for this merger or this not merger, but the purchase or the sale or whatever, they were wanting to keep, certain people were wanting to maintain theatrical releases more than just like a month or a week or whatever. You know what I mean? Or not a month, because they only do it for like a few days or a week or something. And then the physical copies. So I'm kind of thinking, I mean, nothing's really been put out, matter of factly yet, but I believe that they will still release films in the movie theaters. There's word that Netflix wants to open their own movie theaters, for one. This is what I see happening. Netflix, will still, Warner Brothers, it'll still kind of be the same thing, right? You're gonna, I think not much will change as far as that goes. They're just gonna have a little more creative control. And then when stuff goes to streaming, it's gonna be on Netflix. But I think movie theaters will still get films, and, it'll be out for a little bit longer. Not quite like it used to be back in the day, but longer than Netflix does now. And then, if you want to watch it, then you got streaming. But the only problem is the physical copies, though. That's the problem. So I am kind of worried about that, but I mean, just times change, right? I have a lot of movies, not as much as some people, but so I think, and Netflix will release, their films in theaters. And then when they have their own theaters, they'll, that's where, if you want to watch a movie on Netflix in the theaters, you got to go to a Netflix theater. And maybe that will encompass, the Warner Brother brand too. But I think they'll still release stuff to the movie theaters. It just won't be as much. There's so much crap out there now. I think this could be a good thing, is it's going to kind of consolidate a little bit, and you're not going to have just shitloads of movies out all the time. I think you'll have, theatrical releases, and then stuff that's just streaming, and then that's kind of how, it'll be. I think it'd be a good idea to have a theatrical cut and a streaming cut, whatever you make, especially on the Netflix side, you make a film. If, I think like the Rebel Moon films as an example, the first, PG-13 cut would have been released to theaters, and then the R-rated cut is on, you stream it on Netflix or whatever, or vice versa, maybe, I don't know, but something like that, something to kind of bring people to the theater and still watch it on streaming. You know what I mean? But yeah, the physical media, that's about the only thing that I do kind of worry about as far as that goes. Are they going to still release things? I'm sure they kind of will. I think they will certain things. Because some people just like to have the physical copy. I mean, I have physical copies of movies that I still will watch on Netflix. So, it's just, I don't know. It's like my own, I don't know. If there's a movie I want to watch or that sounds good, if it's on Netflix, I don't like, I have that movie. I'll just watch it on my Blu-ray. I mean, maybe I will, but not, no, I'll just watch it on Netflix, But if there's a movie I want to watch that Netflix doesn't have, then that's when I bust out the physical copies. So I'm thinking physical copies will be available, but they're probably going to be expensive, though. There won't be like too many. I don't know. It's probably going to be kind of expensive. It's not going to be flooded like it is today. And then what was the things I was talking about? So I was like, that's what I foresee. God, this thing's just scratching. Dude, I think that audio jack is just screwed. I'm going to have to stop wearing headphones, I think, unfortunately. How's that going to work? I guess I could just leave it plugged in and not have them on. Because I can't have the microphone and no headphone. Or I guess, yeah. But is it going to mess up the audio or my recording? Only time will tell. Anyway. So I don't know. People are freaking out, but I don't think... I mean, it's just like, when VHSs became a thing and Betamax and then, the HD DVD, whatever it was, and Blu-ray and... just things kind of evolve and change, and this isn't compared, this compared to, what do you call it? The Blu-ray battle and the HD DVD or whatever, I can't remember what it's called. That's pretty minute compared to this, but I don't know. It's kind of looking like Netflix is going to be the other Disney. They're just going to have so much stuff. But Netflix, unlike Disney, Netflix makes more money, obviously. I think they're a little smarter with their, I don't know. But hopefully, movie theaters I don't think will be gone. There'll always be movie theaters. Like I said, there's always a drive-through. And maybe, not many, and you got to drive far. They're not on every corner like movie theaters were or still are. But they'll be there. So movie theaters will still be around, and it'll be just, it might even kind of revert it back to the way it was in the 70s where there weren't as many movie theaters. So every movie was packed and there were lines, and you know what I mean? So it might go back to something like that. I mean, this could be like a kind of a purging, and maybe it kind of fixes some stuff. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it ruins everything. I don't know. I don't think it will. Like I said, I think it'll be fine. The physical media is still kind of up in the air. I am kind of curious to see how that's going to go. I hope they do still release films, on physical media. Because like when Justice League Snyder Cut came out on HBO Max, I was like, oh man, I didn't want to get HBO Max. I'm like, no. So I was like, crap, I'm not going to see it. And then I saw that they were selling it on, Blu-ray. And I was like, sweet. So, I got it and I watched it. Now, if that was released on Netflix, would I have bought it? I don't know. I probably just would have watched it and then... I mean, that's kind of, if something goes on streaming... That's kind of how I do things now. You used to rent movies. Now I don't even want to pay to rent movies. I wait for it to go on streaming. And if it doesn't go on Netflix, I don't watch it. There's lots of films that I kind of want to watch, but I've never watched because it wasn't on Netflix. And I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to blindly buy movies like I used to. So, but like if I watch a movie on Netflix and I'm like, oh man, that's really good. Like Dungeons and Dragons, the what do you call it? The last one that came out, the Honor Among Thieves. I love that movie. It's great. I've watched it, I don't know, quite a few times on Netflix though. But if if I saw it just the one time, I definitely would have bought it. I'll probably buy that someday, but I don't know. I'm just that's how for me, that's kind of how, like, if I was to actually watch films and review them like a channel, that's kind of how I would do my, oh, this is just either like don't watch, stream it, or buy it, And people probably already do that, I'm sure, but that's kind of how I rate if I like a movie or not. If I buy it, then that means I really liked it and I'd want to watch it again someday. But yeah, I guess, if stuff that's made on Netflix doesn't go away, it's always there. So, sometimes you'll like see a movie. I love that Netflix puts Leaving Soon on there, because then, like I didn't watch 1917. I kept putting it off, and then by the time I was like, I'm gonna watch it, it wasn't on there. I missed it, and that happens a lot. But stuff that will be made by Netflix will always be there, So, although I think they stuff that doesn't get watched, they kind of purge from the server or whatever because it's taking up space. That's what I'd like to know. Is like the movies that were purged, so you can't even watch anymore. They just don't even exist. And that's kind of the problem, and what some people worry about with the physical media aspect. If it's just on streaming, maybe it's a movie that like Tremors. Think of if we were now movies like Tremors. Tremors like bombed, right? Nobody watched it. It wasn't until years later that people started watching it from being on cable or TV or whatever, and now it's like a cult classic. I love that movie. I remember watching that, I didn't see it in theaters, but I remember when it was on like HBO or something. And but so if that was streaming and nobody watched it and they purge it, then what? That's it. It just disappears, Oh, remember that movie? Yeah. Like a couple people watch it, but then they can't buy it. They can't, the people, the hardcore fans. And that's kind of part of it too. Is you get the people that will watch a movie and they recognize how great it is and they'll buy it, and then they show their friends or whatever, and then word of mouth, and pretty soon it gets popular again. So I don't know. It's kind of a slippery slope, I guess. I mean, they got to figure out something. If you're Netflix and you have streaming, you want people to go and have subscriptions. But like for me, there's nothing that they put out, or I don't know. I mean, there's stuff that I've wanted to get rid of it, but as far as like other streaming services, oh look it, we got this. You can only watch it here. I don't care. I'm not trying to have like 50 million streaming. So it's like, I got Netflix. I know they want to bring people to Netflix, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with releasing a movie in a theater for, a month, right? The PG-13 version, or this is how they got to do it, man. Theatrical cut, right? 90 minutes in the theater for a month. And then it goes to streaming. It goes on Netflix, the director's cut, and that's where you can watch it. And then after, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a year, you can get the physical copy, certain movies, if they do, I don't know, something like that. I think that's how they should do it. That way, you still got the theaters, you still got physical copies, and people will still stream, you know what I mean? Like I said, I got so many of the movies that are on Netflix. I have the physical copies, but it's like it's convenience. I'll just watch it here, Like I'm trying to show like my kids like some of the classics, and I'll be like, oh man, we need to watch this. But before I get my physical copies out and all this kind of crap, I'll look and see if it's on Netflix. If it's on Netflix, we'll just watch it on Netflix, you know. So I don't know. I don't think anything's going away. It's just changing a little bit, you know. But I do hope that Snyder does get to kind of at least. I mean, he doesn't need to like create a DC universe that's 20 something films and it's lasting for 15 years. Or when did it start? 2008, right? So that's 18 years. We've had Marvel films. But I just want him to finish what he started with the Justice League, basically, you know? Another Man of Steel, a Batman film, another Justice League, at least, I think, at least. Another Man of Steel, one Batman, hopefully two, but at least one. And then another Justice League film, at least. I'd be pretty content with that. But that's me, you know, I'm not a huge DC, although Batman, like if I had to pick, I don't know. I mean, as far as like in the zeitgeist, Batman's my favorite, you know, as far as like movies and everything. But like if I'm just looking at comics, Punisher's my favorite. But they're kind of similar, you know. I used to go back and forth between Punisher and Wolverine. But now, like, I'm kind of tired of Wolverine, you know, just from all the years. I haven't even seen Deadpool and Wolverine. That's how much I've just, I don't know. If it comes to Netflix, which it won't because it's Disney, you know, I'd watch it. But that's the thing. See, it's like there's nothing as much as, you know, like Avatar. Who is Avatar with? Oh, I think that's Warner Brothers, right? So Avatar will be on Netflix. So I'll watch the sequel. I have the first one, but I haven't seen the second one, and I won't watch the third one. It's just, I don't know. They need to, see, I kind of thought it was just here in the Philippines, but I guess it's kind of in the States too right now, like with the cell phones. But I don't know, people here just don't shut up. They talk like they're in their, you know, like they're just there like to say like, oh, I went and saw the movie, but they're just bullshitting with their friend, getting on their phone, taking a picture, look at it and putting it on Instagram or whatever. Like they're not even watching the film and they're just, it's really, really, really fucking annoying. Oh, there's my F word for the episode. So I just, you know, like the last 3 times I went to the theaters here, there was somebody that just loud and so I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Like, yeah, so it was, I watched the last Jurassic World movie that came out. I sat in the very back in the corner thinking like, okay, nobody's going to want it. And then of course, right in front of me, there's these 2 bitches fucking, oh my God. I had to bite my tongue so many times. I was trying not to cut, you know, because it was my son's birthday and he wanted to watch it and stuff. So I just suffered. But I was like, dude, this is it. No more. And then before that, we saw the Five Nights at Freddy's. Kids wanted to see that, so we went and saw that. And then again, there was just loud people that I think my wife got up and said, hey, shut up. Or I said, shut up. And then she said something. Because they were just like having a party there. And it's like, dude. And then, what was the other one? I can't remember. I think it was one of the Meg movies. See, all these movies were because my son wants to go, you know, see them. So we'd take him, you know. But he's getting older now. He can go with his friends. Thank goodness. So, which kind of sucks, you know, because that was kind of a thing I did with my oldest son. We used to go see the Star Wars films and stuff. And I mean, he still likes movies and everything, but I don't know. They can all go. It's just, they don't need dad. Man, I cannot. I don't know. It's just annoying. I'd rather be home and watch. Anyway, that's it. Are you worried? You worried about the buyout? Netflix owning all the... What does Warner Brothers have? They got, well, DC, obviously. I think a lot of films that... what's his face? Christopher Nolan. I think all his movies are Warner Brothers. I mean, there's a lot, dude. Oh, can't think off the top of my head. Should have looked that up. Maybe I'll look that. No, because this. What did I say at the beginning? This ain't about information and facts. It's just opinions. All right. Besides, I'm kind of at my time. So anyway, let me know what you think. Are you worried? Are you not? Do you buy physical copies? I don't know. Let me know. All right. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time, and God bless. All right. Bye.